Good morning, 9:30 Eastern Daylight Time. This is Bob Canfield, live weather blog meteorologist with a tropical update for Friday, September 17, 2010. Still tracking 3 hurricanes across the Atlantic Basin today. First, we'll start off with Hurricane Igor. As of the 8 a.m. advisory, maximum sustained winds were 120. Movement to the northwest at 9. Igor is still a Category 3 hurricane. Like a little bit of weakening this morning. I'll show you that on the satellite view, but should maintain its major hurricane status for the next couple days as it makes its approach to Bermuda. Bermuda is now under a hurricane watch. Still track forecast hasn't changed much by the National Hurricane Center or even by me. Again, still looking like this is going to come pretty close to going over the island of Bermuda, give or take a little bit right or left. Really hard to say right now. So it should maintain its major hurricane status around that Cat 3. And then as it nears Bermuda, shear will start taking over, and it should get knocked down to about a Category 2 hurricane as it passes near or over the island of Bermuda. Right now, still looking like, again, as I was saying, over Bermuda, maybe a little east of Bermuda still. Hurricane force winds extend outward right now 105 miles. So in order for Bermuda to not get any effects from this system, and it's definitely not going to go far west, so we're going to have to see this at least move 100 miles east of Bermuda, and again, that's really not looking likely right now, so they're definitely going to bear the brunt of this system, and again, this could rival Fabian from 2003 when that storm hit them. And again, tropical storm force winds will start affecting them late Saturday night, and then through the day Sunday into Sunday night, early Monday morning, they'll be bearing the brunt of Igor. And again, through the extended, Nova Scotia is still going to have to watch. New Brunswick's still going to have to watch this system. It could be a pretty powerful extratropical system out here by Tuesday. So, especially the eastern end, southeastern end of New Brunswick will have to really watch this system carefully because they could take a pounding. Along the east coast of the United States, rip currents, rough seas, heavy surf. Please, inexperienced swimmers, stay out of the water this weekend. It's going to be pretty rough out there, almost like Earl and Danielle, as we saw earlier in the season. Looking at the satellite view this morning, and you could see, let me get rid of this one frame here, and you could see the eye's a little obscured this morning. It looks like maybe a little dry air starting to get into the circulation here. So might even see a little weakening this morning and through the early afternoon here. It looks pretty good for the next couple days. Nothing really major that should weaken this system. It could fluctuate. Like I said, if a little dry air starts to wrap around into the circulation center here, this could affect the intensity here. But it should stay around that Category 3 for the next couple days. But there will be some fluctuations in strength. Looks like pretty much on point, maybe passing just a little east of the forecast points this morning. And again, this is what's really going to be steering Igor here. We had our first little shortwave energy move off yesterday, and that pushed Igor a little more northwest. We're in a little lull last night. Then we have this next little piece of energy that actually brought severe weather across the northeast New York City area yesterday. That's now pushing off the east coast. And then another piece of energy right here diving out of Canada. So each one of these keeps reinforcing this trough. So this will keep moving right along the, we have high pressure out here to its east. So it's going to move right along the edge of that high pressure, that subtropical high. And once it gets to about Bermuda in here, the westerlies are really going to take over, and that's what's going to eventually shoot it off to the northeast. So it has no way to escape except to go near Bermuda at this point with this pattern. And we've seen this pattern continue for the whole week here. So each one of these short waves keeps reinforcing this trough here, and then eventually it gets caught up in the westerlies and gets shoved off to the northeast. And here's the steering flow. Here was that short wave yesterday over here. Here's that other one right here. And then here's that other one diving out of Canada. And each one of these just keeps reinforcing this trough right in here. And eventually it gets to the point of no return when it gets near Bermuda, and that's going to shoot it off to the northeast. Our protector here, high pressure protecting the southeast and Gulf Coast. So this high has helped keep Karl away from us and has helped keep Igor away from us. So we could thank everything for not getting two major hurricanes affecting the United States to this high pressure right in here. And again, shear, pretty decent shear across Igor now. And then as it gets towards Bermuda, we'll start seeing that westerly, southwesterly shear, even south-southerly shear start affecting it. And that's why this system should get knocked down to about a Category 2 hurricane as it passes near Bermuda. Again, the models haven't changed much. Everybody pretty much clustered right over Bermuda, a little left, a little right, but everybody's clustered right there near Bermuda. GFDL, this is valid for, again, Sunday night, and again, just west of Bermuda. This would actually be the worst case scenario for Bermuda if this system would go just a little west of Bermuda. The strongest winds are in the eastern eye wall, so if this were to verify, this would be the worst case scenario. We want to see this at least 50 to 100 miles east of Bermuda to have the less effects on them. So, again, we don't want to see this. GFS, we'll put this into motion here. Again, pretty much over the island, maybe just a little west of Bermuda. Again, bad track for them. And the Euro is pretty much right over the island, again, for Sunday night. So pretty much all the models are still intact. Again, going to go right over Bermuda. I don't see that changing. I haven't seen that changing for the last 4 to 5 days. And Bermuda's going to have to start bracing themselves for a pretty powerful hurricane coming their way. Well, that's it for Igor. What else do we have? Well, how about our fifth major hurricane of the season, Hurricane Karl? As I said yesterday, probably get to a Category 3 before landfall, and it has. This is as of 7 a.m. Central Daylight Time or 8 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Movement to the west at 9. Maximum sustained winds 120, which puts it to a Category 3. It's about 50 miles northeast of Veracruz. So you remember yesterday I was saying it might take a little southwest move towards the end here, and that's what it's looking like. So it's going to come very close to Veracruz, as I said yesterday, and should be pretty interesting. I'm not sure why they didn't bring these hurricane watches farther south here and why they were so far north, but anyway, they're the National Hurricane Center. So again, so that should dip a little bit. I'll show you here on the satellite view here in a minute here on the so here we go. Pretty well-defined eye last night. You saw that eye pop out. Look at that CDO. Pretty cold cloud tops. Now you notice the last few frames, looks like Karl might be weakening just a slight bit towards landfall, which would be good news. Still a very powerful hurricane that's going to be affecting this area, and let's hope for the best for these folks, because this looks like a pretty dangerous situation, but looks like maybe a slight bit weakening before landfall. Again, still going to be a powerful storm, and you can see that little bit of dip to the west-southwest, which should bring it pretty close to Veracruz landfall in the next, probably the next 3 to 4 hours here, probably around noon, 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, probably around noon time. So pretty dangerous situation for them. And let's hope for the best. I tried to bring up the radar for Mexico, but not happening this morning. Everybody probably crashed the site. I just can't bring it up. It would have been interesting to see it here come through radar here, but I just couldn't do that. So there's Karl. Karl will be making landfall the next 2 to 3 hours. We have Hurricane Julia. Not going to spend too much time on her. Again, 85 miles an hour. This was as of 5 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. West-northwest 24. And again, it's going to move around that same subtropical high that Igor is moving around. And then as Igor shoots off, it's going to be interesting to watch these two shoot off to the northeast together, because by Monday, Tuesday, when Julia's moving off to the northeast, Igor will be right up in here. So they'll both kind of move off together. Julia looks like she's weakening, could even weaken below hurricane strength by later today. Not looking very good on the satellite right now. The official forecast does bring it down to a tropical storm by tomorrow. And then again, pretty much weakening between Igor's outflow and some increasing westerly and southwesterly shear. It should weaken to a tropical storm and then go out to sea just like Igor. And again, here's the satellite this morning. You can see that finally that eye feature kind of disappearing a little bit. They're trying to make a little bit of comeback on these last few frames. So probably the 11 a.m. advisory still hold it as a hurricane, but it could, again, I think Julia's lifespan is going to be kind of on the downturn here as it starts to weaken. And you could see Igor's outflow right here getting pretty close to Julia. And the bigger picture, you could see pretty big, massive Igor, little baby Julia. I mean, the size differences are just so tremendous. And then there's Karl down in the Bay of Campeche here, ready to make landfall across Mexico. The only other system we're going to be watching the next few days, kind of have a broad area of low pressure out here off the African coast. National Hurricane Center gives us about a 10% chance the next couple days, so we'll watch that. Some of the models do develop this system, including the Euro model. GFS does not develop this system. GFS has kind of calmed down on its development of a system next week in the Eastern Caribbean. Instead, it takes it maybe towards the end of next week in the Western Caribbean. So we'll have to see. Long way out for that. So maybe a little lull in the action after these three hurricanes finally go by. We might see a little lull here, but then never know. More lurking for us towards the end of the month and into early October. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for bearing with me. Pretty under the weather today, so thanks for bearing with me with this voice. And stay tuned to liveweatherblogs.com for the latest weather information today, and I'll try to have another update for you guys tomorrow morning. Have a good day.